Kodak as the premier imaging company for so many years in America. And as we've moved forward into the digital world, and Kodak itself is moving into the digital world, it's just been a really exciting partnership with using the web to reach out to people and have a way to get people to put their own pictures into the mix for this project, where we're sharing the imagery, and that Kodak has the nationwide reach for people to put their pictures up and to share them, and then also to continue to, in sort of the traditional way, to make prints of the pictures and to make America's inaugural album. The idea of 1,000 words, 10,000 words, it's in a different realm. It's outside of words. It's an image that goes to the heart. It goes to our emotions. It enables us to communicate feelings that a lot of people, unless they're very, very communicative or very, very verbal, can't communicate. Through an image, they can show the love of their family, they can show the love of their country, they can show a sense of participation in the process. And these are things that are universal. These images will go beyond America. They're not restricted by language at all. I mean, the visual language is a language that we all share around the world. I had an extraordinary opportunity through Bill Clinton's presidency to photograph America and to photograph the political process. And it was the culmination of a fascination that began for me in 1972 when I first started covering politics. And just the extraordinary sense of what democracy means, that there's an incredible amount of work and an incredible amount of communication that goes out to the nation on all levels, whether it's a local election or whatever, and then the people vote. And when Bill Clinton became president, it was just an exciting time, and there was a real sense of moving to the next level. He was the first president born after World War II, the first of that generation, and there was a real sense of as in the famous words of JFK, that a torch has been passed to a new generation. It's been a real experience watching this candidate go from being totally unknown in the country, and to follow his rise as people became more aware of his abilities and what he communicated and his hopes for America, and also the process of the American primary system. I mean, every 4 years, the process is just an incredible opportunity to see parts of the country where the candidates are traveling. It sort of goes from the national scene, which is obviously what an election is about, but during the primary process, they focus on such small areas. And I spent quite a bit of time in New Hampshire early on, is where I had the opportunity to first see Obama and be, as a lot of people were, just mesmerized by his ability to communicate with people and his sense of where he wanted to take the country. An exciting part of this for us is there's going to be America's inaugural album, which we're creating with the pictures that are coming up through Kodak.com and the galleries. And then we're also doing a memorial book, a book that's an actual fairly large format printed book, which is going to be a real keepsake. It's going to be a real remembrance of this time and of the beginning of the Obama presidency, a time of a lot of hope in the country. Every time there's a transition in the presidency, it's a rebirth. It's a sort of ignition of the American vision and the American dream. And for families and for individuals, I think it's a time to look at what, and once again, I hate to go back just to quote Kennedy, but to ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. I mean, Barack Obama has made service a central part of this. There's a sense of the country and families of coming together and looking at where do we want to go as a country, and that comes down to where do we want to go as individual families. And I think it's a nice time for people to capture where we're at, coming together as a family, seeing this inaugural, seeing this sense, but also making a record of your family, how it exists at this time, and as your family moves forward into the future, and how we go together as a country. And we want to see that imagery. I mean, we're excited about these pictures. We think it's a great opportunity for people to come together as a group to make these photographs and look at the theme of renewal, of American renewal. There's a lot individual families can do to make great photographs and make photographs that are really meaningful now and in the future. I mean, one of the important things is spontaneity. If I was to tell someone the main thing in a picture is don't overpose it. Another thing that we'd love to see in the pictures that everyone takes is to focus in on the individuals in the family. It's a really important part of a portrait is to see everyone's who they are. There's the idea that photography can reveal who people are, and it's a self kind of exposing way to deal with each other. To make these pictures is an important process. Obviously, finding a place that's nicely lit, not putting everyone in front of a window where there's a lot of glare. I mean, there's always a place in the home that's either nicely lit or outside. Don't just sit there in a chair. I mean, the idea that you can be doing things and capture the energy and the movement. Photography, even still photography, can capture excitement. Obviously, with whatever you do, there's the basic technical restrictions on the medium. I mean, you have to be able to use your equipment, and I would recommend for everyone to get a camera out and often and take pictures. It's a fun process. It's a process that the more you do it, it's like anything. I regard my ability to photograph as a skill that needs practice. It's whether it's the idea of a tennis player hitting balls. You need the camera out. You need to use it, and you need to be interacting with your world through your camera, and then you start to enjoy it, and you enjoy the process. If there's a picture that doesn't work out, don't give up. Don't be frustrated by the fact that pictures don't work. I'll tell you a little secret. As a professional photographer, a lot of my pictures don't work either. But I learned something from the ones that don't work, and that process of making pictures it's a real fun part of it. So I would just encourage anyone to shoot lots of pictures, to involve everyone in the family, to pass the camera around. If you really want to capture the true essence of what you're photographing, I would just say make lots of imagery. Don't be discouraged. Just take lots of pictures and be involved with the picture. Don't just sort of pick up the camera, point it at something, and push the button and expect to capture a real sense of what you're photographing. It's an involvement, and it's amazing. The more you're involved on your side of the camera, the more the communication and the energy comes from the other side, and the more those pictures really start to begin to communicate what you want, what has motivated you to make that picture.